Hello, Broncos Country, and welcome to the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast here on the Orange and Blue Network in partnership with MHRT. How y'all doing tonight? It's been a good week. We had another Broncos game. Preseason or not, we got the dub. That felt good. We saw some great things out of our quarterback, some good things out of our team. There's a lot of work to be done, but we can be confident going forward. The 53-man roster, it's coming, you guys. Cut downs are coming. We got in just a few days, we have the final preseason game of this year. And then after that, all bets are off. Cut downs begin. It's going to be sad to see some guys go. We're here tonight to give our not so early 53-man roster prediction. So let's go, Broncos Country. This is the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast.
Smooth, the pins to chew, breaking down plays about to debut. Develop pride in every view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Bright lights of my heart in our view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. From draft picks to game reviews, celebrating wins, analyzing the clues. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. No orange and blue.
Nothing rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast.
What is up, Broncos Country? I am the Mile High Viking, Johnny Baki, and with me, my cousin, my childhood best friend, Jay, the Denver Dream, Weaver. What's up, Jay? How are you today?
I'm doing all right, man. Not too shabbarino. Just coming off of a good preseason game. We got football in our blood, and we've only got more to come. So it's been a good.
Oh boy, does it feels good, doesn't it? Feels so good.
It does.
2 weeks in a row we've had some football. We got one more week of football, but then we have the 1 week long desert. Or well, I guess it's 2 weeks technically. 2 week long desert of no football.
True.
But it's okay. We're here for it because right afterwards, the season finally begins.
And those 2 weeks will be filled out with college football. The season will be upon us at that point in time. So
absolutely.
Still stuff.
Absolutely. So guys, welcome to the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. We're a fan-led, built by the fans, for the fans, Broncos podcast on the Orange and Blue Network, and also brought to you by Mile High Roundtable. Do you realize, Jay? We used to be Mile High Roundtable several years ago. We left for our own reasons. This is the debut episode of Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue, back for the first time on MHRT Network. How cool is that?
That is right.
I mean, think about that. For years, we were one of the staples on this network, and now we're back. It feels so good to be back.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy to think this has gone this long.
It's full circle. We've come full circle.
It really is. It's pretty nuts. But I'm super glad to be back with the fellas. I always have enjoyed their content. I enjoy the banter.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just hopping off of the 5280 podcast that just ended, here we are, back to backs here.
Here we are, back to back, right here, guys. We are Orange and Blue Network, but we are now partnered with MHRT. So please, if you have not already, or this is your first time, please like, subscribe, share, comment. Find us on YouTube, on X, on Facebook. You can find the audio versions of our podcasts everywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. That's for Orange and Blue Network. But if you're watching this on Orange and Blue Network and you haven't already, please jump on over to MHRT. Give MHRT a like, subscribe, share, comment. They're on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch. They're even on Instagram. I just didn't have enough room to put Instagram on here, and I think the other ones are more important. So, guys, please do that for us. We'd really appreciate it. Today's show is brought to you by Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend. You can find the link in the bio below. Dubby is absolutely wonderful stuff. All right. It is a delicious, delicious drink that gets you started on your day. 1 cup of Dubby has 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine. But, oh, it's the best part. Jay, I love this part. But there is no calories. There's no sugar. There's no maltodextrin, no fillers, no artificial colors. Dubby is as natural as it comes. It's nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, and then they add nootropics, which help keep you sharp as you go throughout your day. But because it's not chock full of sugar, you don't have the jitters or the crash later. So please click the link below. Excuse me. Click the link below, dubby.gg. Get yourself the dub, and I'm going to make that dub even sweeter when I tell you to punch in code NRWOB10. That's NRWOB10. Gets you 10% off your order. Guys, teach me how to dubby. That's all I have to say. Boom. Let's go. Jay, master of merch, would you just feature an item for us real quick? I just want to see something with Nothing Rhymes on it.
Yeah, we'll snap back to reality. Oh, there goes a hat here.
Oh, speaking of snapbacks.
Yep, NRWOB, some nice hats. I picked out a white one. Looks super fresh with the nice logo, but these are only $20. Like for a hat,
and you can see
it's
it.
really not that bad.
Right here on this beautiful trucker's cap. Right here. That's a nice one. I love
and there's a bunch of different, obviously colors that you can do. There's 3 designs, more designs to come, but and it's pretty dang quick delivery date as well. So
absolutely
no specials going on right now, but if you keep popping over, every once in a while they'll throw you a 10 or a 15% offer as well. So always good, man.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Jay, master of merch.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I love it. Guys, we've already got some of our friends in the house. We got Ty Walden popping in. That's a new name to us here on Orange and Blue, on Nothing Rhymes Orange and Blue, and on the Orange and Blue Network. So he says, better give my podcast some recognition with that new segment. He's talking about our new segment, not to be confused and completely unrelated with the In-Com-Plete podcast hosted by Ty Walden. The segment is simply called In-Com-Plete. You'll get it when we do it, and I promise you, like I said, not related to Mr. Ty Walden and his
Ty Fly Guy 15. Like your last name jacked with me. I had no idea who you really were. I know you, Ty. Wide world of Twitter. So
great show. Love the In-Com-Plete podcast. However, these are unrelated. They're not affiliated, and that's okay. In-Com-Plete. That is a phrase owned by Broncos Country, right? I think so. I mean. All right. Anyway, we love your show, Ty, and we appreciate you popping on and giving us that love. We got D-Rock in the house, also known to the MHRT network once upon a time as Shadow Jacker. Say Broncos Country. We got a 6'10" Mexican in the house, looking up at him, looking down on us, saying, "Don't stop believing." Love it. We got Shy Vargas saying, "Hey, Shy, it's good to see you." Ty White popping in saying, "What's good, boys?" Love to see it. It's good to see everybody. And please, again, like, subscribe, share, comment. Let's keep the comments going, guys. That's how we drive. That's the driving force behind this show is the comments. We love interacting with Broncos Country. We can do it without, but it's so much better when the comments are the driving force behind the show. So anyway, thank you guys. Jay, how was your week, buddy? I mean, I saw you on Sunday. We did the post-game show. It was a blast. How you feeling 2 days later?
So, just a little minor news here. Really good stuff here. And he's bringing it up right here. Ty and I may be going live from the Broncos-Jets game in New York. I bought my plane ticket today. I will sure be there. But we're waiting on, tickets to just kind of see where we want to sit and what's going on with that. But we'll have some boots on the ground in New York.
So what you're telling me is that you and Ty are going to do a live pregame from on the road for us this season.
The Meadowlands.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Isaiah and we're going to be doing a live pregame from the Broncos Raiders home game in October.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
the throwback.
Super jealous of that.
I've already got my, he and I both already have our throwback jerseys ordered and on the way, ready to go. It's
Super
going to be a
sick.
blast. We bought our tickets today, dude. For the first time in my life, we are sitting 50-yard line.
Nice.
Section 1, or down in the lower bowl too. Lower bowl, 50-yard line, probably 50 feet behind the Broncos bench. I'm so pumped.
That's awesome.
So
that'll be a good time.
The Mile High Viking is going to make, you know what? Like, I loved it. I loved it. I don't know if you guys remember this. I'll have to put it up. I'm actually going to put it into the post game show video this week. I'm gonna make some changes to our post game show intro. There was a clip back in December, right after the Broncos lost on Christmas to the Patriots. But myself and Isaiah, we were at that game, and during the game, and then during the hype video, the next week for the final game of the season, for their hype video, there was an awesome shot of me going, "Let's go!" And I had my orange and blue beard and my face paint and my Viking horns on. That you can always catch my Viking horns on game day. It was a blast, man. So I'm gonna see if I can make that happen again, because that was.
There you go, man. There you go.
All right.
We got coverage, man. We're gonna be out. We're gonna be out and about. I may even pop over that Kansas City game too. It's kind of down the street for me.
If anybody is watching right now and is going to be at either of those games, hit us up. Hit me up on hit us up on Twitter. You can see my handle right there below me, Mile High Viking PO, and Jay Dreamweaver 1014. Look us up on Twitter if you want to meet up, hang out, maybe even do a guest spot on a pregame show. Dude, we'd love to have you. Hit us up. It's going to be fun. All right. Boom. So, well, I lost my train of thought. I got all excited. I got pumped.
Got dizzy? You look like you got dizzy.
Dude, I killed my own buzz there, dude. I mean, I hate it when that happens.
Damn it, Johnny!
Oh, that hurts, man. Dude.
You're a monster.
Anyway, all right. Let's talk a little bit about the game we saw, but then we're going to jump into our predictions based on what we've seen the first 2 weeks for the 53-man roster. Because we already know most of those spots on that 53-man are already taken. So
Correct.
We're going to talk about that. But again, we've had a couple of days to digest. I've been watching a lot of national media, a lot of Broncos podcasts and other, media, and just some really positive stuff coming out about one Bo Nix. I would just love to say.
Yep.
I thought you said go, Bo, go.
So I don't know, the full landscape of national media who has taken notice here, but my favorite has been the Chase Daniels.
I was gonna bring that up. You beat me to it, you son of a bitch.
Because he knows, he's been in the trenches of the system. I think he was with Sean Payton for like 7 years or something like that. But
my fellow Mizzou Tiger.
He knows this. He knows this system, and he has just been gushing about the progress that Bo Nix. Like he shouldn't already be this far in his progress of learning the playbook and just where he is. So it's so exciting, man. Like we have every right to be gushing and to be the hype train is going like full throttle.
Oh, yeah. And here's the thing. I've been watching everything. I've been watching Colin Cowherd, who Jay, for a long time, I don't really care much for Colin Cowherd.
Yeah.
But his takes on Bo Nix this week, he's gushing so much that his guest commentator, the guy that J-Mac, that's always on there with him.
Jeremy Macklin, right?
Yeah, Jeremy Macklin. He calls him J-Mac, and I that's how I always remember it. Actually asked him on today's show, like, are we like getting a little too hyped about Bo Nix here? Come on, we need to calm this down. And Colin was like, no, I'm not. Absolutely not. And that I love that. I love that I love watching him. I watched the Insiders, with Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport and Mike Garofalo. All this national media, dude, is gushing about the fit, the marriage of Bo Nix and Sean Payton, the perfection of it. I mean, they let's see, on the Herd, on Colin Cowherd's show, he had Brian Baldinger on, Baldy, as he's well known in national sports media. legendary Cowboys lineman and very, very well-versed football analyst. Love that guy. And Baldinger literally said that like the marriage of Sean Payton and Bo Nix is almost as perfect a match as you could ever hope.
Yeah.
And I mean, I paraphrased that a little bit, but that's in a nutshell what he said. And seeing it on the field, this was very vanilla offense, very vanilla defense. I mean, and so we may see some hiccups, we may see some stutters early on in the regular season. I would not be surprised. A new name in the house for us, Doug popping in, saying Super Bowl. Here's to you, Doug. Welcome to the Orange and Blue crew.
For sure. Thank you for being here, Doug.
I'm sorry, I didn't give one to Ty Walden either. So here's one to Ty Walden. If you're a new name in our chat that we don't recognize, we're gonna toast you every time.
Absolutely.
All right. So,
and I just want to just piggyback off of that last Doug comment of, Doug, we're going to get to your other comment because as, I got a lot of things to say about a couple of positional groups that we'll go over on the 53 projection here.
Oh, here we go. Here goes the Denver Dreams secret love affair with one Damari Mathis. Oh, it's going to be fun.
It will be. It'll be good.
It's not a secret either. Your love affair with Damari Mathis is almost as legendary as your love affair with Little Debbie.
No, dude, and Mundungus was wearing a Little Debbie shirt, I think, for me in the 5280 podcast tonight. So,
dude, that's what I mean. I
gave him a shout out.
If you want Mundungus to be your oatmeal cream pie, all day. That was a little dirty. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Actually, I feel
family size pack.
Yeah, that's right.
I identify as a family size.
Yeah, well, but of the two of us, we share the same blood, but we definitely don't share the same genes, mister. You are skinny. Yeah. I am fat. Well, I'm the family size.
I think it's going to even out here as we get older,
Maybe. I doubt it, though. I think you're gonna always be the beanpole to my older.
Well, hey, go Buffs!
Go Buffs! That's right. And by the way, if you haven't already, you can see it on our Twitter. Our good friend, my close personal friend of mine, Nick Ferguson. I text with him constantly. Had an awesome interview this week with Deion Sanders, with Coach Prime, who's been a little, he's been a little bit in the national media for some. Just having a bad attitude lately, but he's struggling.
I'll blame him.
Yeah, he's having some frustrations. Okay, let's cut him a break. Anyway, awesome interview. You can find it on our Twitter, on Orange and Blue Network Twitter. I'll throw that up there just so that everybody can make sure that they go check that out because it was a really Big Deborah, Big Debbie. There's our Twitter or our X. Sorry. Go ahead and check it out. You can find that interview there with Nick Ferguson and Coach Prime. Great interview, lots of fun. So had to give that shout out to one Nick Ferguson. We call on the show. We call him Fergalicious. We love him. Fergie. Fergie. All right. So let's talk. Let's talk a little bit more about the game, and then we'll get right into that 53 man. Actually, no, we have a segment to do first. But
I was going to say, you want to get into.
Yeah, why not?
The new guy.
We have a brand new segment debuting tonight. Again, not to be confused with the In-Com-Plete podcast with one Mr. Ty Walden, Ty Fly Guy. But this is our segment, In-Com-Plete. New video. I like it. I felt good making when I finished it, and I'm really excited about this segment, Jay. So, guys, this segment is called In-Com-Plete. It is very simply one of us will state a phrase having to do with the Broncos, but we will leave that phrase incomplete, and then each of us will give our opinion as to how to fill in that blank.
Challenge accepted.
That way, I think it's a really cool new way of kind of getting everyone's opinions about certain things.
Yeah. No, and expectations. That's
Yes.
the theme of my choices I'm going to bring to this segment here.
Oh, well, I would love it. I would love to hear the first one. Would you please do us the honor of giving us the first ever incomplete phrase?
Absolutely. Now this may be a little
please,
controversial.
Real quick, Jay. Sorry, time out, real quick.
Yeah.
And please, guys, punch in your fill in the blank into the comments too. We'd love to hear them.
So, Baron Browning will earn a new contract by the Broncos if he does.
Ooh. Oh, Jay, you surprised me. You surprised me.
Good. It's a good one, isn't it?
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. Baron Browning will earn a new contract with the Broncos if he's going to have a career high sack count on the season. Absolutely. Yep. That's how I fill in the blank. Tywy's already gunning for trying to take him out at the knees. He says if he does not get hurt.
You read my mind, Ty.
I like it. I'm gonna say records a career high sack count on the season. I'm not sure. I'd have to pull up the stat what his career high is.
It's not 10. We haven't had a 10 sack guy
we haven't had a 10 sack guy in a lot of years.
Many years.
And I don't know if we'll have a guy record 10. I don't. But I think his career high in a season was about 5.
I want to say no, it was a little higher than that. I want to say it's like
5 or
7.
6, maybe 7, but still. Let's go. I'm gonna go with 8. I'm gonna go with an 8 sack season. Baron Browning earns another contract with the Broncos if he records an 8 sack season.
Okay.
There we go. Jay, what is your answer? Because Tyway already threw out if he doesn't get hurt.
Well, it's a 2-part for me. Is if he stays healthy and he gets double-digit sacks, because he needs to have 10 sacks. He's going to be the featured pass rusher. He's first rep. He's 1A. He is the guy to get the first shot at it. And we need a consistent pass rusher. We have a stable of depth, but we need the consistency. It's kind of like that cornerback room. I don't care if you can make one play out of every 9. I need you to make 9 good average plays and not have such peaks and valleys. So it's the consistency, which, is injury, keep healthy.
Sure. I like it. Okay. You went defensive. I'm going to go defensive to start out as well. But I'm going to stay in the linebacker room, but I'm going to move back to the inside linebackers. All right. You ready for this? All right. So,
okay.
This season, Alex Singleton will blank.
I mean, he will lead the team in tackles. I think that's a given. But he will end the season still as the defensive captain. The macho man of that D side, which is great.
Damn. Doug threw one in already. He says, lead the NFL in tackles.
Oh, yeah.
Stole it right out of my mouth, Doug.
I like it, Doug.
Let's see. Tyway throwing it. Alex Singleton will break 100 tackles again. Dude,
that's floor. That's given.
Easily. Dude, that's basement. That's not even floor.
Yeah.
Dude. That's like storm cellar, going down into the storm cellar after going down into the basement. I think
other than injury,
season,
that should be a given.
I think last season he recorded 176.
I was going to say, he's gotten over 100 at least 4 years in his career.
Absolutely. Okay. So let's see.
We got another new name, and he is quite the famous name.
He is. I love this guy. Okay.
Mr. Rank himself. Big fan.
The Denver ranking guy.
Fan. Yeah.
That's right.
Big fan, man.
Who
ranked us before, and hopefully he ranks us in the future.
He named the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast in the top 20 of amateur, and I hate to say that word because I don't feel like we're amateur, but
people
I know
don't forget.
Yeah, people don't forget. We were ranked this last December. Mr. Michael Carmelini, he gave us the ranking of the 16th, the 16th in the top 20 of the best amateur Broncos podcasts in the world. So
we always have,
massive love. This is the first time we've ever actually had his name in the show, though. So, Mr. Carmelini, here's to you, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
And by the way, I am the Mile High Viking. I'm not wearing my horns right now, but I have them on game day. But I am drinking my beer out of my awesome Mile High Viking ale horn.
Is that a Stein?
No, it's an ale horn. It's if you look, it's made from a real ram's horn, like a Viking would drink from.
Huh.
And it's beautifully etched with the Broncos logo and the words Mile High Viking. So
there you go.
I usually on game day, it's hanging. I have this awesome little thing here, this awesome little monkey fist made of leather, and I slide that up under my belt, and it's hanging off my belt so that during the tailgate, I'm just pouring my beer into this and just chugging it.
I've got a cup shaped like a football.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Let's see. D-Rock, he says Alex is a demon.
He is.
Doug says that 100, that Alex records, that 100 tackles by week 8.
Ooh, that's on pace for 200. I'll take that.
That's what I'm saying. Ty White says Alex Singleton will get a haircut.
You better never utter those words again, Ty.
Never again. That hair is beautiful.
Never.
Ever again. All right. And a 6'10" Mexican says real Vikings drink Corona. That's right, buddy. That's exactly what's in here. Exactly what's in there.
What?
It's Corona. You know me. I may be a Viking, but I do love my cervezas. It's just so good. So good.
Okay.
All right, Jay. We've each got 2 of these things, so give us your last incomplete phrase.
All right. Sean Payton will win Coach of the Year if the Broncos win blank number of games.
That's a rough one, and it, unfortunately, because of who the Broncos are to the national,
what a turnaround that would be, though. What a story that would be.
It would be. It absolutely would be. But here's what we know, right? The Broncos are not the darling of the NFL. They never have been. They never will be. The national media does not love the Denver Broncos. So in order for Sean Payton, even though he is Sean Payton, to get
Sean Payton.
with coaches in this league right now, like Andy Reid, and I mean D'Amico Ryans, what he accomplished down in Texas, and and all these other guys, Sean McVay, and
that's
all
the
these
comparison
guys.
We keep getting is this is the new Texans this year. Like, here we go.
Know. But I think for him to get, after the seasons we've had leading up to this, the only way that he gets Coach of the Year is 13 wins or greater. So Sean Payton will get Coach of the Year if the Broncos win 13 games.
But if we win 13 games, we're taking the division.
I know.
And I don't see that.
Listen. This was not easy for me to come to. But realistically, looking at our position, the way the Broncos are, the esteem the Broncos are held in nationally, the only way it happens is if we win an ungodly amount of games. So for me, it has to be an ungodly number like 13, which is also happens to be my favorite number in the world and my lucky number because I believe you make your own luck, so it's not unlucky. So
okay,
there you go. Well, I say 13 games. And Ty Walden, he Mr. Ty Fly guy, he said pretty close to what I said, 11 to 12.
Yeah. And I'm right in that range, but I did have an extra. Another Ty.
The other white meat, Ty. No, the other Ty said 11 games. So, I'm sorry. I know it's a big number, but Jay, please help me out here. In your opinion, Sean Payton wins Coach of the Year if
the comment stream is right on, man, because my answer was going to be 11 wins with a playoff win. And we got both Ties hitting that number. And then we got Doug coming in here saying you got to win a playoff game. So, I mean, literally, in combination of both all those guys, that is exactly what my answer was going to be. But you got to win a playoff game. So it means nothing if you get the playoff spot and then you get embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Okay, so I guess I've got the last one now.
You do.
All right, I'm going to have fun with this one. And I'm going to go a little bit cliche because what is our favorite? Everybody knows right now. What is our favorite subject in Broncos country right now?
Bobo.
Big number 10. Big bad Bo. Big bad Bo.
Yeah.
All right.
Bobo.
And it's similar to your last one. Bo Nix wins Rookie of the Year
Oh yeah.
if he blank incomplete.
I mean, it's so rookie of the year, I feel like is different than something like a coach of the year or even the MVP of the year because I feel like those are more success driven of wins and losses from a team success. But rookie of the year is more of a stats driven award, in
It's an
my
individual.
opinion.
It's an individual. It's definitely an individual event.
Well, true, but they're
It's
all
not a relay.
technically individual.
It's not a relay. It's the single man 400.
So we could be, and this isn't going to happen because these are yin and yangs, but Bo Nix could be amazing and our team success is awful and he could still win the rookie of the year. So
Yes.
I guess I would say, and again, D-Rock coming in, you betcha, 4K for passing yards, which, you know, that's pretty good. I will say though, my thing was going to be about 3,500 yards with at least a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Because rookie quarterbacks are going to be obviously more heavy in the interception category. So if he can come out showing the experience, showing the head that he has for this playbook and have that kind of ratio, I mean, I feel like that's the chef's kiss kind of stat that we will look for that award this year.
I like it. So in the comment, before I give my last one, in the comment stream, we have, you already said D-Rock said 4,000. Shy Vargas, our good friend, said Bo Nix will win if he wins 14 games.
Oh, yeah.
Bo Nix gets Rookie of the Year if he wins 14
100%.
games. I mean, absolutely. Ty Y pops in. Bo gets Rookie of the Year with 3,800 yards and 24 TDs. Okay.
That's possible.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get that.
I'm going along the same lines, stat wise, because it is a pretty stat driven question.
It is.
Or stat driven phrase. Because it's an incomplete phrase, not a question. Come on, guys. Get it together. No.
He is trash, by the
Williams
way.
is trash.
He is.
Dude, I think once he starts going up against the ones, he's trying to do the hero ball that he tries to play. He's gonna get humbled real quick.
Okay, just really quick. I hate to go off the rails real quick here, but did you hear that he listed his mother as his primary psychologist on the team roster so that he could go consult his mother during any NFL game and that would be condoned? In the middle of a game, he can go up to the stands to his mom.
I mean,
literally.
I mean, I love my mama too, but
isn't that wild?
It's weird. I don't even know what to think about it. It's weird.
He has the most odd requirements that he has to have in order to play football I've ever heard in my life. Like, what?
So he's basically got like a hostage takers list of demands.
Oh yeah, I mean, thank God he went to a crappy franchise like the Bears.
You mean just like one Russell Wilson did when he first came to Denver,
or Aaron Rodgers? I mean, same ilk.
Yeah. Doug says, Princess Caleb. I love it. I love it, buddy. All right. So I say Bo Nix. Getting back on track because that was a fun little caveat. But let's finish this segment real quick and then we can talk the 53-man roster. Bo Nix wins Rookie of the Year if he records, I'm going to say the same as you, Jay, 3,500 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
He records at least 400 yards rushing.
Ooh, that's I like that a lot. That is very underrated.
It is, but it is the new NFL, and he records at least 25 touchdowns.
I like that.
So and so it's basically all the same, right around the same numbers for everybody. But I added in the rushing because in this new NFL, quarterbacks that can't rush aren't worth shit. It's a fact. It's a fact. This new NFL, quarterbacks have to be able to move. We've seen it. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, the best ones, they can move. And we've seen this in this preseason so far, and we've seen in his tape from Auburn and from Oregon, Bo Nix can move.
Sure,
but he's gonna have to be able to do it consistently and convincingly, in addition to being able to pass. because if he can do all of that and show off that gun arm of his, I'll say wins at least 11 games. I'll throw that in there as well. All those things combined, Bo Nix wins Rookie of the Year, not Wookiee of the Year. I love Star Wars.
It's my best.
We're not talking Star Wars right now. Jeez, man. Oh, what is wrong?
Man, if there was a Wookiee of the Year award, Chewbacca would win that every year, right?
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Terrific.
Okay. All right, guys. So that has been the very first ever segment of In-Com-Plete. Oh, I love it. It's fun. It's fun. All right. So that was fun. I enjoyed that. And I can't wait to do more of those. It's a good way. It's a good way to get opinions, not only from me and you and anybody else who's on the show, but also in the comments. That's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do more of them. And there's so many possibilities with those kind of questions, or the kind of phrases and things that you can put in there, that the possibilities of what we can talk about are endless.
Mm-hmm.
Endless.
It is.
I love that. I love that segment. I love it. So
I love some Mad Libs.
Yeah, definitely. It's a Broncos themed Mad Libs, kind of. And insert verb here. No. All right. So moving on. Let us talk 53-man roster. We know that Sean Payton has told us that there's I think he said something like 43 out of the 53 spots. This was last week, by the way.
Yeah.
43 of the 53 spots are already spoken for. That was before preseason game 2, so who knows? That number could be down to like 5 or less at this point. But let's talk about, every year we've always done. We didn't do it this year because I was out with my, we took our long hiatus when I was having my my mental health sabbatical. Excuse me. But usually we have always done a way too early 53-man roster prediction. Obviously, next week we're going to be hearing about the cuts. So now we are the not so early 53-man roster prediction because we're this close to it.
Yep.
So we already know. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm going to drink a water instead of beer on this one. Because my goodness. I do apologize to everybody. I am a U.S. Army veteran, and I have lung issues as a result of it all. So I every now and then have to top off the tank a little bit in order to be able to keep on talking. Okay. All right. So Jay has a spreadsheet built for us of his predictions. Jay,
yep.
I let you build your predictions, and then I'm just going to kind of agree, disagree, make comments on it, and of course we're going to go over. On my screen that I can share here as well, we have the actual currently official Denver Broncos depth chart according to, to Broncos.com.
Sure.
So we can make comparisons. So what position should we touch on first, cuz?
So, I mean, I kind of feel like we should start on offense because that's where the meat of the discussion is as far as people we're keeping, in my opinion.
Okay. So you say offense. I say, and I'm gonna while we're talking, after we've read them over, we'll bring it down for a moment so that we can kind of see each other while we're talking. But looking at it, position wise, why don't we just start with the most important position on the team? Let's talk about it. Let's get it out of the way. Jay, give us your predictions on the depth chart for QB.
We're keeping all 3. That's not what I would do. This is what I think they're going to do. Sean Payton can't help himself but surround himself with like-minded people. He's a former quarterback. He today gushed about Zach Wilson and said he's going to be a reclamation project that I'm basically going to take credit for.
Sure.
And all that tells me is that either we're trying to bump him up to get some trade bait out of him, which would make no sense to me because we're the ones that traded for him. But I just kind of feel like Stiddy and Zach Wilson are going to be on this roster. And whether we should or shouldn't, we're going to keep 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, maybe. But you're probably not going to like my opinion on this. I did say it. You can see it right there. The currently official depth chart, according to DenverBroncos.com, has Stidham at number 1, Zach Wilson at 2, and Bo in 3rd place. We all know based on what we've seen, there's no way that that's the truth. But here's where I'm gonna take it a little bit in another direction. Okay. I said it on the post game that I think Isaiah might be right that we might keep all 3. But at the same time, I'm starting to notice something that could be akin, possibly, to what we saw with Alberto last season.
Yeah.
And that would be there are currently quite a few teams that could use another quarterback right now, and we have 3 that have shown very good promise in this preseason. I think it's very possible because I heard the same thing you did, where Sean Payton gushed about Zach Wilson.
Out of his way to do it.
It could very well be, I think, honestly, and this is just my opinion, we only keep the 2, which is kind of the standard in the NFL, 2 quarterbacks on the roster. We keep, and based on what I heard, it's very possible it would be Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham backing him up, and we dangle Zach Wilson as trade bait. And try to get one of these teams hungry for a QB or a backup QB to take a bite. And that's just kind of what I'm wondering, because we saw him do it last season. He gushed about Alberto.
Yeah.
It blew our minds when the announcement came out that we traded him. And Broncos Country was like, what?
Well, and it's been talked about quite a bit on the World Wide Web that is a strategy Sean Payton is infamous for at this time of year in his past. And it's not out of the realm. I just don't know. I think Sean Payton would rather keep Zach Wilson, because I think Sean Payton is a very full of himself person that thinks he is a quarterback guru, and he wants
a quarterback
to take
guru.
credit. He wants to take credit for Zach Wilson after the fact here.
Yeah.
Stiddy's not doing anything for anyone moving forward. There is no ceiling for him. That is a safe backup that,
absolutely.
That's the quarterback on the move, in my opinion.
Which is what all of these teams that are still QB hungry are in need of, is a solid backup.
No one's trading for Zach Wilson, I guess is what I say to say that.
Unless, of course, the phone starts ringing. That's what I'm saying. He gushes about them on the, and it gets seen, it gets heard, and suddenly somebody's like, his situation with New York was shit, and then he went to Sean Payton, and now we're hearing and we're kind of seeing the possible resurgence of this kid. Maybe we could use him. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying, based on previous Sean Payton strategy, it's very possible that that's what's happening.
I just kind of feel like his love for him and why he wanted to trade for him in the first place is more of a long play from Sean Payton, in that, and this is maybe a little, foreshadowing here, but Troy Franklin and Zach Wilson are going to be active, non-active starters. Like, they won't dress for games. They're on the roster. Probably shouldn't be, but they're on the roster.
All right. So let's since you brought them up already, let's look at the wide receiver room according to DenverBroncos.com. You have wide receiver 1, Cortland Sutton, followed by Josh Reynolds, Lil Jordan Humphrey, David Sills, Michael Bandy, Devon Vele. There's some names missing there right now. Obviously, we know Troy Franklin and Tim Patrick and a few others.
A wee bit, because I think that's just outside.
No, that's literally, that's it, man. Like, they're not even listed on here right now. Hate to say that. That's kind of shitty, honestly. But that's it. That's all that's listed on there. But we all know that there's more names to that. So Jay, why don't you share with us who you think makes the 53 at wide receiver?
So I've got a little bit of a different opinion than I think most will on this, to be quite honest, because I think uh, most of the normal names are going to be there. Like obviously Court, Tim Patrick, Josh Reynolds, Marvin Mims. Vele is going to make this team because I think he has shown enough thus far that he warrants a jersey and he warrants to be a rookie that can fall on his own sword every once in a while throughout this year and make some mistakes and learn through that. He's an older, more mature player, being from Utah. But my real kicker here is, like I said, I think Troy Franklin makes this team because he won't survive on the practice squad because he had such a high draft grade for most other teams. Someone will snatch him up in a second. So I think he's going to be an inactive, a game day inactive, but on this roster. And because
but
of that,
I'm sitting here looking, and I'm seeing seven wide receivers carried on this 53.
But that's why I say, because of the Troy Franklin situation, you have to carry an extra person because Troy Franklin is not, he's going to be a red shirt. He's not going to be an active participant. He's not going to contribute to this team. And so you have to rely on a wide receiver that you have confidence in, which is Lil Jordan Humphrey. And that's why he makes this team, is because you can plug him in and he's good to go in the system.
Okay. All right. I mean, I can get on board with it. Seven is a high number to carry at that position. So I mean, but obviously you could probably use a special teams designation for one or two of those to bring the number down to 5.
Vele can play special teams.
Yep. So obviously it doesn't, in the game, they're still eligible to be wide receivers. They're just, on the official 53, they might be listed in as a special teams player.
Troy Franklin jacks that positional group up, to be honest. He
does, but they're not gonna get rid of him.
Heck no, they're
not. If you remember, I believe it was on. I commented on Broncos Talk last week and said I would bet my right kidney that Troy Franklin makes this roster.
Absolutely, he will.
I fall on that sword. So
yep.
I think I still feel like 7's a lot, but we've seen a lot of injury at that position for us over the year, in the last few years. So maybe safe bet. Seven wide receivers.
I was going to say, you putting all your eggs in your basket of Tim Patrick going to be healthy the whole year?
No, not. But can we just segue for just a second and give Timmy P the just desserts he deserves? Yeah. He's back on that field, catching passes down across the middle of the field, got his first touchdown in 2 years. It had to feel good. The entire bench emptied to hug him and congratulate him. He's got to feel, and he gave a big old mile high salute to the fans, and he even said it in a post game interview that was for the fans to thank them for standing behind me through this whole process. So big shout out to Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton who had productive games and looked great. I'm excited to see what happens. So all right, the Broncos carry 7 wide receivers on the roster. Several probably though as special teams designations, but still, I like it. All right, what position you want to cover now, cuz? Because I picked
running back quick.
Let's go running back. So, looking at the official website roster here, let me zoom in a little bit for everybody. Oops, hello. Here we go. Running back. The currently listed on the official Broncos depth chart is Javonte Williams, Samaje Perine, Jaleel McLaughlin, Tyler Beatty, Audric Estime, and Blake Watson. Those are the names that I would thinking of that room.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, Jay. So based on that, following that, what do you predict for us?
Javonte, Estime, and McLaughlin. I think we only carry 3. This was a positional group that I thought would maybe carry 4, but I would rather have the extra wide receiver, again, because of Troy Franklin. So I think obviously Samaje is gone. I think we all understand this.
Now the writing's on the wall there, dude.
Yeah. Tyler Beatty is played out of his mind, but I didn't think no matter what he did, he wasn't making this roster. And that's sad to say, but that just is what it is from a running back.
You're killing me, Smalls.
And Blake Watson, that's a really hard cut because
that's a hard cut.
Good in spurts, but hasn't been consistent. So
no, definitely not. And so we got our 3 our three on there. Now, do you have Audric Estime ahead of Jaleel McLaughlin running? So like running back 2, or is that just?
No, that is not. But I also have him ahead because Estime is going to be the goal line guy out of all of them, I think. Even
Yeah.
Javonte.
I think it's possible. I think now I agree with you that those are the three we're going to carry.
Yeah.
I also wanted to carry 4. However, space, I do, again, realistically, I think 3 is what we carry. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure if we put anybody else on, any of those other guys based on what they put out on film, this, except for maybe Samaje Perine in this preseason so far, they're going to get poached, unfortunately.
And
I think
Michael, you're probably right. I think McLaughlin is number 2. I mean, in an order sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll see a lot of 1-2 punches. Running back by committee kind of thing. Javonte and Jaleel. You might see some really cool, really good 2 running back sets.
That'd be nice. And add a shotgun.
I mean, could you imagine
RPO?
putting Jaleel, just for a second, another segue real quick. Could you imagine putting Javonte Williams and then Audric Estime on the field with Michael Burton as the fullback all in at the same time?
Yeah.
They would have no idea where that's going. And they're about to get wrecked either way, no matter from any direction.
So, but that's another reason, though, is that there's so many NFL teams that don't carry a fullback nowadays that if we didn't have Michael Burton, we would have a 4th running back.
Yeah, but
normally you'd have 4 running backs.
Sean Payton, he remains old school with the fullback position, which I'm gonna be honest, my position, that's right. I played halfback, which is a variation on fullback, so I love it and I miss it. But so I agree with you. Those 3 and Audric Estime is the goal line guy, but I also see them mixing that up too. I could see you trying to mix it up, throwing in a slippery little guy like Jaleel, or throwing in Javonte Williams, who we know just like Audric Estime is good at forcing his way through scrums. I mean, that's what he does.
I'm just putting this out there, and I've already said it for all the people that have been on previous podcasts, but Javonte's position is not guaranteed on this roster.
No, God, no.
He is in the last year of his rookie contract, and he actually does command some trade bait, to be quite honest, because I think he is a starting caliber running back. So if we see a big injury, if we see some movement in that running back room for other teams, that could be a trade candidate. I'm just saying, because
it could be. But I personally think he'll probably remain for us at least this season. The unfortunate truth about the running back position in today's NFL is that they're a dime a dozen, and and a lot of coaches are all about the youth at that position, and so once you reach your for running backs. The sad thing is, once they reach their second contract term, the era of their second contract,
this will be his last year.
They don't end up either staying with a team or even going to another team because they're going to go draft another young guy or something. You have to be one of the Derrick Henrys or the what's his name who played for the Chargers.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
No, recent.
Austin
Eckler.
Eckler.
In the league. Austin Eckler. Thank you. Colorado boy. I can't believe I spaced on that. You have to be one of those guys in order to either go somewhere else or to stay, to be given a second contract. It's the fact. I mean, look at like Ty brought it up right here. Look at Ezekiel Elliott. Where is he now?
Well, he's in Dallas back, but he had a cup of coffee in New England because Dallas wasn't going to pay him.
And I don't think New England's going to pay him either.
No, I mean, Javonte will be on a different team next year. Hope everyone understands that.
Well, he might be. We don't know for sure, but the fact of the matter remains, it is very possible. I mean, it's
more than
very
likely.
Possibility. Yeah, more than likely. All right. So we agree on the running backs. Let us talk. How about we talk about?
I'm sorry. Is Kim Possible in your background or something?
Absolutely not. It's not Kim Possible. Come on, Jay. You and I used to play this in the yard as children. That is the Power Rangers beat. Come on, man.
See, I'm just thinking, call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Fuck? What the fuck? Who are you? Come on. You and I used to fight, literally go in the yard, and you were the Red Ranger, I was the Black Ranger, and we beat the shit out of each other as kids. You remember that?
I'm Tommy all time.
No, you were not. You were Jason before Tommy became a
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
I remember. I'm older than you, so I have a better memory.
Damn you, Rita Repulsa.
So no, that's Power Rangers, not Kim Possible. What the fuck
Okay.
is wrong?
Okay. All right.
Anyway, moving on. I think it's time we talk tight end.
Yeah.
Currently
this
on the depth.
This is a very easy position, I think, to guess.
Sure.
I think this was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I don't know about you.
We got Adam Troutman, Greg the official depth chart currently lists Adam Troutman, Greg Dulcich, Lucas Kroll. I gotta use this to scroll over here real quick. Lucas Kroll, Nate Adkins, Hunter Kampmoyer, who actually I've heard had some pretty impressive moments in camp.
Yeah.
We haven't seen much from him in game scenario, but this week 3.
And Atkins
This
is
is
a
his
Swiss
week.
Army knife that can play fullback, could play a swing tackle. There's like a lot of things he could do.
And then Thomas Yasmin, I've heard the name. I haven't seen much from him in either camp, and definitely not in game.
Yep.
But again, for these lesser known names, this is their week to this is their chance. So we'll see. Okay, so Jay, give us the official Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue prediction of tight end room.
It's the normal 3. You would expect the normal 3 to make it. No surprises there. That's, like I said, very easy position group, I think, to etch in, because we're
all right. I absolutely agree. You don't have Nate Atkins on there though.
I don't. No, we have. That's repetitive. I feel like.
Yeah.
That's a practice squatter. We can pull up if when Dulcich gets hurt. But as of right now,
guys,
day 1 starter.
As I've been saying, guys, keep it going in the comments. Give us your opinions on this, on both our our predictions and also what you predict. We'd love to talk about them. Ty Y pops in. He says he likes Kroll and Atkins over Troutman.
Troutman.
I understand that feeling.
Troutman
he's a Peyton guy, and at the same time, even though he hasn't had anything like any super big flashy plays, he is reliable.
Yeah, he's the most well-rounded.
And when I say reliable, he's the least likely to drop the pass, in my opinion. He's the again, nothing flashy. He's obviously not Travis Kelce. He's not, George Kittle, but
sure,
if you need him to catch the ball and you put the ball in the quarterback, which we know Bo is very accurate, puts it in his hands, he's going to catch it. He's going to get some yards. He's reliable. He's Mr. Reliable. So I'd stick with Troutman also over Atkins and the others. Greg Dulcich, obviously if he can stay healthy, if Greg Dulcich can stay healthy, he has the potential to become an all-time playmaking tight end in this league alongside the likes of, like I said, George Kittle and Travis Kelce and, Darren Waller. I know that Darren Waller, Pantene. That's what we call him on this show. Pantene, because that glorious hair. Dude, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of that Kenny G do he's got going on. I wish I could wear my hair like that. My curls go upward. They don't really flow. You know what I mean? But I like Dulcich, and I really think he stays healthy. We're gonna see some huge things out of him this season. Lots of catches, lots of yards after catch. He's just got to stay healthy. And as far as Kroll goes, I see him on the roster. I agree with you because he does have good hands when it comes to the catch. Again, another Peyton guy, but at the same time,
he'll be tight end 1 for this Cardinals game. He'll be the guy that gets featured, and it's his job to lose. And if he falls on his face, I could maybe see that being a practice squad, and he'll get maybe clipped. But like, I could see that being a not official person on there, and we keep Atkins instead or something random like that. But
Mr. Carmelini coming in saying pending waiver claims. I agree with all of this. So far he's on board with us there.
It's good.
And Tyway, also agreed if Dulcich can stay healthy. And I agree. I mean, I think Dulcich could be the premier tight end. He just has to stay healthy long enough to prove it.
So let's go to offensive line, and let's not necessarily look at position, but just the overall, because
Well, I mean,
feel
I think yeah.
offensive line
Yeah.
is not. It's somewhat positionless to a certain extent. You have inside, outside, but like if someone's listed at left tackle, they could play right tackle when you're getting to backups. It's
Absolutely.
not as important.
Okay, so I mean, we've got the big names. We know them. We know them well. Garrett Bowles, at left tackle, Ben Powers at left guard, Luke Wattenberg at center. I do want to focus on the
He's the
center
starter.
position.
He's the starter no
I
matter
still
what.
want to focus on it a little bit though.
Yeah.
Luke Wattenberg at center, Quinn Miners at right guard, and Mike McGlinchey at right tackle.
Yep.
They're followed up by names like Alex Palczewski, Will Sherman, Alex Forsyth, Calvin Throckmorton. I love that name. I don't know why.
I love Throckmorton.
Well, maybe it's because our grandfather's middle name was Morton.
Yeah.
And I gave that same middle name to my middle child as his middle name as well. So maybe it's just because I love the name Morton. But I love the
and
name
he's
Throckmorton.
yet another Oregon Duck on our
Yeah, he is.
roster.
Matt Pert is on there as well. And then some lesser known names like Demontre Jacobs, Nick Gargiulio, Sam Mustapher, Oliver Jervis, Mustapher, and Frank Crum.
Yep.
So I think it's obvious. You can go ahead and bring up our predictions, but it's obvious. Garrett Bowles, Ben Powers, Quinn Miners, Mike McGlinchey for sure. The center battle has been a thing. That's why I want to focus on it just a little. I agree with you. Luke Wattenberg is the starter.
Yeah.
But I do think that we carry some other guys. We obviously have to carry some depth for the offensive line because
for sure.
I mean, you and I both know one guy on the offensive line goes down, you've literally thrown a wrench into the cogs of the machine.
Yeah.
Because these guys are so much. That's one of those hard things. The offensive line is so underrated in a lot of ways. They have to work as a solid cohesive unit. So a bunch of dudes becoming one person for each play, and so any change to that, having to throw somebody in there that hasn't. I mean, obviously they've practiced together, but who hasn't been consistently with that particular group at that, up to that moment, it's going to damage that not almost, I want to say consistency. It's a wrong word though. That cohesiveness. So, I mean, it's important that we carry the depth, but let's talk about it. You've got who?
I got Pert. Pert has played very well. Very well. I think he's been one of the highlights from the backups. I think he's outperformed Forsyth, to be quite honest. So I definitely have him in. Forsyth is gonna be in there because he's on the bubble, like you were saying, for the center position. Like he's a.
We have to have somebody who's
gonna be on the roster.
You gotta have somebody who's been taking snaps at center. So
Palczewski, I think. Palczewski. He will definitely make it just because I think he has gotten quite a bit of reps from the second position of that tackle swing. And with Quinn Bailey's injury, I think we need to carry another tackle, which is rough. Because he would have been gone if Quinn Bailey was still there.
How hard is it to think that your a backup offensive lineman can affect your team as much as Quinn Bailey's injury does?
It does.
But it does. I mean, and he's on IR. So he's going to be on IR. So that's rough for us.
If he comes back, Palczewski, he'll be gone. So that'll be the.
I believe it's Polish. I believe his last name is Polish.
Makes sense. It's going to say that or
Polish
Czech.
Sounding. Yeah, maybe Czech. But so we have 5 starters.
Yeah.
In Garrett Bowles, Powers, Wattenberg, Miners, and McGlinchey with 4 backups currently on the roster.
I think that's enough.
Now let's just pray that we don't have 5 injuries to the offensive line.
True. Well, but then we'll be seeking outside help.
Sure, but in an ideal world, you want to have a backup for every position. So it makes me nervous only having 4 backups, but I do see the
the
logic there because you have to save some room for.
You have a fullback. You have to. In my scenario, you're carrying 3 quarterbacks. These are the things that you don't get for luxuries when you decide on things like that. You carry Troy Franklin, that's dead weight.
But if you were to dangle Zach Wilson and get him traded somewhere else, you'd have a roster spot. Just saying.
You would. You would.
All right. Well, that's the offense. We've predicted our offense. How many ultimately do we carry on offense?
I got 26. So here's just a quick comparison. 26 on offense, 24 on defense. So a couple extra on the offensive side of the ball because I think there are more positional groups, toss-ups in the offensive
backup.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to the wonderful world of defense. Let's talk about it. As our good friend on MHRT Network here, Richie Rich would say, I'm just kidding. I know that's that's profiling Canadians, but you don't have to give me crap about it. All right.
We've all watched Trailer Park Boys. All right.
I love Trailer Park Boys, but way better than Trailer Park Boys is Letterkenny.
Yeah,
way better. Both are great.
They're both great.
Letterkenny. Give your balls a tug. Anyway, moving on. What position group do we want to focus on? I think we should start with the line, the defensive line.
Yeah.
All right. So official depth chart has listed defensive end as Zach Allen, followed by Angelo Blackson, who has had some good moments.
He has.
In this preseason, and Jordan Jackson. Then you got your nose tackle. Currently on the depth chart is DJ Jones, followed closely by Malcolm Roach, Matt Henningsen, and Jordan Miller. I honestly had almost forgotten that Matt Henningsen even existed. You're on the other side, on defensive end. On the other side, you got Mr. John Franklin Myers, Elijah Garcia, and Inyoma Owazarike.
Give me 1 sec, Johnny. You go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. So those are our officials as far as the official depth chart currently goes for the interior offensive line. Let's jump on over here to our prediction, that Jay has created for us. Okay, so left defensive end, he's got a starting Zach Allen. Nose tackle, he's got a starting DJ Jones. And right defensive end, he's got John Franklin Meyer starting with two backups for the interior defensive line in Malcolm Roach, obviously an obvious choice. Zach Allen and Yoma Owazarike. Zach Allen has been an absolute monster on the field. When the Broncos acquired Zach Allen last season, I was and we heard JJ Watt talking about endorsing him the way he did. I was very excited. I didn't feel like, though, however, we saw it that much last season. But he looks stronger. He looks faster, and I think he's going to be a menace to offenses this season.
Well, it's made a big difference. Vance Joseph actually calling his own defense instead of half of last year, continuing the Evero defense and the zone crap from Fangio. So it's a big difference when you have your own guys playing their own positions in that actual defense.
Yes.
So along those same lines, Roach is a guy that I have making this roster. He comes from New Orleans.
Absolutely.
That's a guy that I feel like no matter what is going to make a depth positional, difference for that line.
Sure. I can see it. And Yomo Owazarike has made some noise coming straight out of his 1-year suspension. I'm
straight off of the boats,
right. And D-Rock agrees with you, Jay. Trailer Park Boys are far superior.
They have not only had Peter Forsberg on their series, but they've also had Nathan McKinnon on their series. Can you top that?
I know they have. Okay, I'll give you that, but I have one thing to say, and that's fucking Shorzy. All right,
it's true. Yeah,
I love
Letterkenny's
Letterkenny.
great.
I love Trailer Park Boys, but me personally, I just laughed so much harder at Letterkenny. And Shorzy, the spinoff. So,
Shorty's great too. Yeah.
all right. So,
Um,
going back to it, yeah, and Yomo Lazarica has made some pretty amazing waves, coming straight out of a 1-year suspension. So, I mean, it's obvious he was keeping in shape and keeping in football shape during his 1-year hiatus from football. So I'm impressed.
So-
DJ Jones has looked way better since being surrounded by the likes of John Franklin Myers and Zach Allen. So I'm excited to see that.
what do they list? What do they list Tillman as on your? Because D-Rock is saying that Tillman needs to make this team.
Yeah,
What's
here's
the
the
position
thing.
they list him as?
He's not even. Oh, here he is. He's listed as a weak side linebacker.
Okay.
So,
So I did have a little change here. If I were to make a change, it would be Justin Strnad does not make the team, and we add another line. Because right now I have Griffith and Strnad making the team, which I know kind of goes against mentality because they're virtually the same player. But I have 4 inside linebackers making this team. Very heavy on the linebackers.
Talking, we got to talk the weak and the strong side linebackers a little. You don't have Tillman on this roster.
I don't. No.
On our prediction.
No,
D-Rock
I have
disagrees
Thomas
with us
and
on
Coon.
that. Yeah.
That's my guy. That's the guy that I think has played extremely well and deserves to have a spot, but that's an arguable slot right there for sure.
Sure. But you definitely have an inside linebacker starting. Obviously, we made very bold predictions for him earlier in the show. Alex Singleton starting. I have been incredibly impressed with one Cody Barton.
I have too.
I like him, and I'm really excited to see what he continues to do. Personally, I don't like our depth much right now at inside linebacker, but I mean, you got to roll with what you got, and
I kept Strnad just to have
Strnad and Griffith. It's an important position. I think it's definitely one of those positions you can't afford to not have at least one backup for every one of your guys at that position.
Correct, because it's kind of like you have 2 tacklers in Singleton and Barton, and you have 2 coverage in Strnad and Griffith. So
although Cody Barton really was looking good in coverage this week.
Better than Josie Jewell, I'll say that.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Although, hats off to him. I do miss the Outlaw. But
tackling machine.
All right.
But
tackling machine. So I think I agree with this though. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of Strnad making the team. He just hasn't.
Yeah.
He has not been as advertised since we drafted.
He's not a Peyton guy. He's definitely of the old regime of the same hey, do you deserve a roster spot? Because I haven't seen anything if you're Sean Payton. So I get that.
Yep. All right. Weak and strong side linebackers. The official depth chart has listed for strong side linebacker Jonathan Cooper, Thomas In-Com, and Jonah Ellis. So Jay, talk to me about strong side linebacker.
That order is going to change, but that's going to be a rotational spot. Baron Browning is going to be there, and Nick Bonito is going to be there on the weak side. But that strong side, I feel like, is going to be a turnstile because I truly think Jonah Ellis could be the starter by the end of the year. He's that good as a rookie.
You know what? I'm going to say, I'm going to make Jerry, you ready?
Uh-oh.
We haven't had one yet this show.
Uh-oh.
Hot take. Jonah Ellis. Excuse me. Jonah Ellis becomes the starting strong side linebacker by week 8.
I would agree. He looks great. He really does. I don't know how anyone that's seen so far the tape could disagree with that because
can't keep him off. You cannot keep that man off the field. You can't.
I agree.
Jonathan Cooper, naturally though, I mean, lots of love for the guy. I think this could be a breakout year for him. I'm really hoping it is. I think probably right now one of the weakest spots on this team is one of our biggest weaknesses is our pass rush. So they definitely need to step up. But
yeah,
Thomas In-Com, he's reliable. He's not gonna. I don't think he's ever gonna be, a starter. I don't think he's ever going to be the guy that jumps off the page in the pass rush. But I think he's solid enough that rotationally he'll do well for us.
Yeah.
Weak side linebacker. Let's see. We have the official depth chart listing on the weak side. Baron Browning, Nick Benito, Darrell. No, I don't know that. Nashami.
Wamchi, yeah, something like that.
Not Nchami. And Dondre Tillman.
Yep.
DeAndre. I'm sorry, DeAndre Tillman. It's a weird way to spell DeAndre. It looks like Dondre.
Tillman's played very well. To what D-Rock said, like I get that.
So going to the 53-man prediction. We've got you have Baron Browning and Nick Benito over there.
Yep. Just those.
Obviously, if you had to, I'm sure, Thomas Incoom or Jonah Ellis could swap sides if they had to. Yep. But obviously, you got to be careful with that.
And if you weren't going to keep Incoom, you would keep Tillman. I think Tillman's next up, but I would keep.
Do you think Tillman goes to the practice squad, or do you think he gets poached if we put him on the practice squad?
I mean, I don't think he'll get poached. I think he's still kind of a no disrespect, no name.
We really haven't talked about it much, but let's just go ahead and say now that Tillman's on the Broncos practice squad.
Yeah,
but based on our prediction. Okay, we've already talked inside linebackers as well. So let's talk. We got to talk the secondary, and then we're I think we're
good to go.
Pretty good. We will talk special teams a little, but I mean it's
it's cut and dry special teams.
It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
So all right, let's move on to the secondary. Do you want to start with corners or safeties?
I think it's all the same because again, I think similar to the line, they are interchangeable to a certain extent. And we've seen this in preseason of, and I don't know if you already saw it, Kadron Smith, is it? I think that's it. How you pronounce his first name?
Yeah, Kadron Smith. Real quick, SCU Productions, another new name. Don't know him. New name to us. Asked, is this already done, or are we going to make a 53 live? I can't speak for this show as far for MHRT Network. As far as a live 53-man goes, we will do we will do an update when the 53-man officially comes out. This is just our not so early is what we called it, the not so early 53-man roster prediction.
With 90% of positions already,
spoken for.
Spoken for.
With like our predictions before they play their third game and the final guys make their claim to the 53-man. So, but glad to have you, SCU, and we appreciate you jumping in. And I didn't drink. I'm sorry. I gave you the toast, but
I have an empty cup, so I will. This is better than that. It's an IOU.
Yeah, there you go. That's worth more than money, sir. Those are IOUs.
Cheaper.
Yeah. All right. So let's go. Let's move on to our over down here. Let's just go safety. Let's go safety. We got at what is it? Strong safety. Brandon Jones, Devon Key, and Keydron Smith. On the official Broncos website roster currently, and then we also have it's at the free safety position: PJ Locke, JL Skinner, Tanner McAllister. Don't recognize that name very much. I do, however, recognize the name. I recognize Omar Brown more.
I think Chris made a Home Alone joke on one of the drives. McAllister made a tackle.
Oh,
and I was like, "Oh, dude, come on."
So hold on. SCU bringing up a comment. I'm going to drop this out for just a second. SCU says, this is what I've heard. Correct me if I'm wrong. Javonte looks full speed. Dulcich has been good. Adkins is greater than Kroll. Vele and Patrick have been great. Riley Moss has locked up cornerback 2, and JL Skinner has been good. Okay. Javonte, there's a few corrections to that. Javonte looks full speed.
Yeah.
He dropped 11 pounds, built up some muscle back to his college and his rookie weight, and he looks a lot faster. He looks a lot better. I think we'll start
He does.
seeing maybe some more angry runs out of him again.
Yeah.
Dulcich has been great from what we've seen.
I agree.
Both with Bo Nix throwing to him and with Jarrett Stidham was throwing. No, I guess it was he's really only been thrown to by Jarrett Stidham so far.
Correct. On the
But
teams.
he had several great catches and one that had a very good yak yards after catch. That was great. Adkins, I don't know if I'd say he's greater than Kroll. I don't know about you, Jay, but I think I'd say that Adkins is more. You could say he's more versatile than Kroll.
Very much so. Well-rounded. Brings a lot more, kind of like Troutman. And that's going to be the positional battle, honestly, for this Arizona game is Kroll versus Atkins. Who
makes it?
Who shows more value in that game? So
absolutely.
Not
Vele and Patrick we haven't seen as much out of Vele, I think, as we wanted to after all of his exceptional play in training camp. But he has been good when he has gotten hands on the ball, and even when he wasn't getting hands on the ball, he was good at drawing pass interference twice.
Yeah.
Two very, very crucial.
He's smart.
Moments.
He's a smart player.
He's very smart. So that's great. Riley Moss, Jay and I disagree on this one. This is one where Jay and I are on two different wavelengths. I'm a huge Riley Moss guy, and Jay would make love to Damari Mathis.
Now, it's not that I'm not a Riley Moss guy, okay? It's just you got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him. And Riley Moss is a gambler. And for the opposite side of PS2, as much as you're going to get picked on that, I would tend to go on the experience side of life. Someone that's already gotten burned in their career and knows what to do in that situation. Riley Moss is unproven.
Yeah. I think Riley Moss is going to be maybe not the premier cornerback. Obviously, you can't out premier Pat Surtain. I mean, that would be a miracle if he could. But I really do. I really like what I've seen from Moss. His PBUs have been beautiful, and even a few times when it seemed like, even when catches were made over him, he was step for step in tight coverage on everybody that he has matched up with. So I like Riley Moss better. So, and then JL Skinner has been good, not great.
Not great. He's over pursued. He's very aggressive to his detriment.
And it his play reminds me a lot of Kareem Jackson's. He over pursues.
TJ Ward.
TJ Ward. He'll blow right past the dude before and then realize, oh shit, he's past me. He does that, but he's young. I think that's something that Christian Parker can work out of him over time. Let's see. And then SCU says, has Troutman been getting 1 reps? Is that who Bo has majorly been working with? Bo's been kind of throwing to everybody in camp a lot. In game, what we've seen in games 1 and 2, I think the only tight end he ever did target in game in those 2 games was Troutman. And it was over the middle, and it was a very well placed pass. And Troutman caught it, came down with it, got the first down with it, and it was good. So I like that connection. Again, Troutman, Dulcich has the potential to be the future playmaking tight end. Adam Troutman is a very reliable tight end. He'll get the ball and get you the first down. He's that guy. And then last one from SCU here for just a minute, and then we'll get back to this, and close out this list. Vele made an awesome play against Indy. If you know, I fell in love right there. Yes, I mean he's made several great plays, and I mean personally, I want to see. Oh God, what I would give to see him make that one-handed. I want more. He made that incredible one-handed catch in practice. It was jumping 360, caught it with one arm. It was glorious.
Yep,
he has high potential. I think he has high potential. He's young. We drafted him in the 7th round, so I don't know if we were expecting a whole lot of him, or maybe not a whole lot, but I definitely think he's outshined already his 7th round pedigree
for sure.
But I do want to see more. I do want to see more because he's surrounded by guys that are. I think the Broncos wide receiver room is the most underappreciated wide receiver room in the NFL. Underappreciated, Jay. Come on. Okay, fine. Top five underappreciated rooms.
I think Courtland Sutton's the only legit NFL wide receiver in that room right now. Right now. Like,
dude, do we need to argue about Timmy P right now?
Yeah, but Timmy P's unproven. He hasn't played in 2 years. Okay, give me one preseason game series, and that's it.
All
like,
right,
come on.
You're right.
Come
You're right
on.
about that. But I mean, I'm still way into Tim Patrick. I mean, before he got hurt, that dude was balling.
Yeah, I understand.
And
that.
and when you watch him run and move, he's back to form.
Fans, but outside of Denver, nobody gives two craps about Timmy P. Sorry to say.
That's fair. All right. Okay, real quick, D-Rock, hypothetical query. What happens to Broncos Country if they trade Tim Patrick?
I don't think there's a market. I don't think that's happening, but
I mean, if they did, I think there'd be a lot of us that'd be sad to see him go. I mean, I've met the guy. I spent a little time with him, talked to him, sitting at my dear friend, my boy, Mile High Mario's office. Got to spend some time hanging out with Tim Patrick. He's a great dude. And he's a leader in that locker room. I think the Broncos would suffer, only not necessarily in play, but in the leadership that he brings, even reluctantly, to that locker room. He's an outspoken leader, whether he likes it or not, because he doesn't. He's made that very clear. He doesn't enjoy being a leader, but he does it because the other guys look to him. So I think Timmy, the loss of Tim Patrick would not be great for us, and I think I think as fans we would hate to see him go just because of the person he is to us. There's a lot of sentimental value to his position on this team. I think.
I guess I kind of overlooked the fact that he restructured his contract and is basically making no money, whereas he was in his original contract, like making considerable amount of money this year.
Yes.
So like, I don't think he's gonna be traded. I think he's on the roster. But if that were to happen, then I think the next up would be I don't know.
Marv. It'd be Marvin Mims.
Yeah, I guess so, but he hasn't shown anything. So
no,
I'm not confident about our
Josh Reynolds. I mean, I guess you could say Josh Reynolds probably because he is the most veteran. He's more veteran than Marvin Mims. That's about it. That's the only way that works. Okay, let's finish this list.
Yeah.
So we're on the safeties. Jay, who do you have for us making the team at strong and free safety?
So I've got PJ Locke, JL Skinner.
Obviously.
I think strong safety is easy. Like, duh. That's no brainer. Brandon Jones, who gets the Simmons money, he's the starter if healthy. I think that's a no brainer. And then I have Keidron Smith.
Keidron Smith. Yes. Well, I mean, listen. I mean, I don't know. He does. Now, an argument could be made. He has 2 interceptions in this preseason. One in each game. One could make the argument he was in the right place at the right time for those interceptions. It was almost on one of them. On one of them, it was possibly a more right place, right time kind of scenario. Yeah. The other one, though, the one against the Packers, his interception against Green Bay, was very obviously. I mean, he jumped that route and he grabbed that ball. He was like, "No, my ball." So I think he's earned that. I think he's earned that spot. He's the only guy on the Broncos to record an interception this offseason in this preseason. I think he's made his argument. So I agree with you.
Devon Key is a really tough guy that I didn't want to leave off because he's also really played well. Delarian Turner-Yell is the guy that I think is an easy. You're gone. I'm sorry to say.
Easy cut.
Yeah.
Easy cut. He's been on this team he's been on the roster for like 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, for a hot
second. In that time, he has been a non-factor.
Yeah.
It's easy cut.
But
Omar Brown going as well. You know, like I said, I know his name, but from everything I've heard, I only know his name from negatives.
Not broken up about that.
Weren't great. like
Yeah.
where people were like, "Ooh," and then Omar Brown did this, and I was like, "Ah, man."
As a safety that is getting safety looks, what else can you expect out of Smith? So I mean, like, he's got to make this roster. I feel like.
Here's the thing. I mean, if Brandon Jones is questionable, he's been practicing, so that's good. Obviously, with him practicing, we've got a couple weeks before the actual start of the season, so that gives him some ample time to really get back into football shape and ready to go for week 1.
Yep.
I think Keydron Smith is a smart backup to him. He had, like I said, he's already proven he can ball hawk. Against ones, I don't know because we've only seen him against 2s and 3s. But I think given a little time, he could really become something.
Yeah.
We definitely need a ball hawk at the safety position because we don't.
Sure do.
After with Simmons gone, there is not a single name there. Not even Brandon Jones that screams ball hawk.
He's not a ball hawk. Brandon Jones is not. Brandon
no,
Jones
I mean
is very conservative safety.
He's
not going to get burned.
He's recorded interceptions in his career, but he's not the guy that like when it comes down to like it's 4th and 8 and in the red zone, and if the other team scores, the game is over and we lose, and you need your someone to come up with an interception. I used to pray, please, Justin Simmons, do what you do right here, right now. This is the moment. There's a guy on this team right now that I feel like can be that yet. Yep. Keydron Smith has shown something. He's shown a flash. Now let's see if that flash can grow into an explosion.
Yep.
So I like that. Now, Nickelback. Sorry, I'm gonna have to change that. Nickel cornerback.
Look at this photograph.
Yeah. Every time I do, it makes me laugh.
Great.
Oh God. You know what? You're the one that gave me Nickelback in college. I'd never even, I remember that. I stole my, from my.
I was early on the Nickelback bandwagon back in the middle school days, or
I hadn't been
early
listening.
high school days for me.
Even in high school, I had never listened to them, and then like you came to my house before I was going to college, and I was like, "Hey, I'm stealing all your music for college," and then I listened to my first Nickelback song, and I was like, "Okay."
And your life has never been the same.
It's. I mean, I guess you could. It's music. It's not great music.
It's loud.
It's got some noise. So let's talk nickel cornerback. Currently rostered by Broncos.com. Jaquan McMillian, Reese Taylor, and Quentin Newsome.
And again, this is
what?
an interchangeable that you're just kind of looking at the overall cornerback situation, because there's, I think, multiple guys that can go inside to be nickel.
Absolutely.
McMillian is just obviously 1A in this position.
I mean, he's it. He is the be all end all. If you have to slot, if you have to move,
honestly, I think Damari Mathis would perform really well inside as well if you give Riley Moss that opposite side.
He could. He definitely could. I mean, I'd definitely put him in the nickel before I put Riley Moss at the nickel.
I would agree. Totally agree.
So it's an important position that right now really only one guy on this team has down pat, and that is Jaquan McMillian.
Yep.
And Jaquan McMillian, I think he'll be a ball. I think he is a ball hawk, and I think he will.
I think he's going to do very well.
I do too. I think this is his breakout season. This is the season where his name starts getting mentioned by national media and stuff like that.
Hopefully so.
I'm with you. All right. So we have one last little bit to get to here, and that would be the pretty cut and dry special teams unit. You have your place kicker, who's also your kicker,
yep.
your kickoff kicker and your field goal kicker. It's all Will Lutz. It's all Will Lutz all day. And then of course you have your punter in Riley Dixon. I know we have Trenton Gill behind him. We're not going to carry two punters.
Absolutely not.
So Trenton Gill will be a cut, obviously. Where is our long snapper? There it is. Mitchell Fraboni. Fraboni.
Yep.
Which, by the way, my Italian sub on Sunday was awesome.
Oh, hot stuff.
Oh, that was my game food, man. We talked about it on the Mile High menu. You missed it, but
there you go.
No, you didn't. Yes, you did.
I was in the comments. I was surfing the World Wide Web.
That's right. You was doing that. Mitchell Fraboni is the only long snapper rostered on this team. He's making the team. Same with Will Lutz. Same with Will Lutz. Same with Riley Dixon.
Yep.
And then, I mean, you have at kick return, you got one guy.
He's a Pro Bowler.
And that's Mr. Marvin Mims.
Yeah.
And Jaleel McLaughlin is also listed as a kick returner. And Michael Bandy, they also have Michael Bandy here at punt return and Traymon Smith at both as well. So Jay, talk to us about our predictions for special teams, as if we really need to talk about it.
I mean, yeah, goes without saying. I don't even have a secondary listed off of Mims, but you got your three special teamers. Chalk that up.
Will Lutz, Riley Dixon, Mitchell Fraboni.
Yep.
And then you've got Marvin Mims, kick and punt return. Obviously, that can change throughout the season as they practice guys into that during the regular season.
What I would really like to see, the only note I will make of this group is that I would really like to see if Troy Franklin's going to give us anything being on the active roster. Let's start grooming him to be a secondary returner of some sort, because he does have amazing, linear speed. So if he can get some open space,
it's what he was known for at Oregon, was his linear
absolutely.
Speed.
So if we can give him space, then heck yeah, I think he should be, next up compared to Mims.
Sure.
So
absolutely. So there it is. 26 guys on the offense, 24 on the defense, 3 special teams specialists, makes 53 men on the roster. That is the prediction made by one Jay Weaver, and I'm going to back him up on it. Johnny Bakke, the Mile High Viking, and the Denver Dream here on the Orange and Blue Network. We will see next week. Maybe not by the time this show goes live on Tuesday, but we will start to see cuts happening midweek next week.
Yeah, we will.
Actually, no, let's just be honest. We're going to see some cuts take place Monday morning. It does start to happen.
Yep.
And it'll be very interesting to see if we pick anybody up on waivers. It'll be very interesting, because we might see some of these names that we called out here go bye anyway, because somebody else might cut something that Sean Payton wants better. So could be very interesting. This is before cuts, before waivers, 53-man prediction here on Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue, on the Orange and Blue Network, and on the Mile High Roundtable on MHRT Network. Guys, thank you for joining us. It's been a fun show. It's been a long one. We went almost an hour and 40 on this one, but hey, sometimes, it takes a little longer with certain topics. And this was
we had to cover 53 men, 53 names.
Yes, we did. So it was fun. It was a blast. We're going to get the hell out of here because I am friggin' tired. But we really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. It has been a lot of fun. Remember, if you have not already and you're watching this on MHRT, please jump on over to Orange and Blue Network. Give us the like, the subscribe, the share on Orange and Blue Network, on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, and check out all the audio podcasts wherever you listen to your favorite audio podcasts. And then if you're on Orange and Blue Network right now and you haven't already, please jump on over to MHRT Network on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch. Give them the like, the subscribe, share. They are our partners. They are our friends. They are our family. We're all Broncos country, all of us. And we love each other, all of us. So please, let's build the family on both sides because we belong to both. That being said, Jay, it's been a blast. And I love you, cousin. And for those that don't know, Jay and I actually are real life blood first cousins. His dad is my uncle. We've been best friends our entire lives. So we really appreciate you guys joining us. We love you guys. We cannot wait, Broncos country, to see what the rest of this season is gonna shape up to be. Week 3 of the preseason's coming up this Sunday. Maybe we probably won't see any or many, if any, of our starters on that field, and that's okay. It's still Broncos football on the football field for us to watch. If you're for the Orange and Blue Network, if you haven't heard about them already, please check out our other shows. Tomorrow night, Wednesday nights, is Broncos Talk featuring a 6'10" Mexican, Adon Diaz, and Ty Y, the fantasy guy. We also have other shows, the Orange and Blue Blitz, that will be coming out this week, breaking down film. We also have soon to come, probably in the next 2 weeks or so, a new show called Orange Friday, featuring the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Zano. Love that dude. And then, of course, on game day, we love them, is the Get Bucked Game Day Show, 1 hour before game time. And after the game, we have the post-game show called Buck Your Feelings, hosted by that guy over there. So please, guys, make sure you join us for our other shows. We love you, Broncos Country, and we are out of here. Oh, that was fun, huh? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun here. I'm trying to find my video here.
Oh, retro raggy.
There we go. Thank you, Broncos Country. Good night.
Okay, bye.
Orange and blue, we're here for you. Talking Broncos all day through. No stopping us, we're on the loose. Come join the crew, no bad news. Podcast vibes so fresh and true. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Catching up on all that we knew.